I'm just talking in theys now when I'm really just speaking from my own experience, but it's what I see. And I see there's many, many, many paths to get to the way, but there's only one way. There's only one way to go throughout this walk of life, this journey, so to speak, and that is morality. That is spirituality. That is knowing that one is a soul in a man or woman, whoever you might be, physical body for a limited time here to experience this. So please don't be fooled by what's coming. It'll be a worse, even worse continuation of the enslavement that's been going on for generations. Are these things allowed to play out the way that they've been designed to play out and the way folks are unknowingly playing them out for others? Unknowingly. It takes each in their own willpower and discernment to look deep within and reflect deep within and to gain the knowledge they need to find these things out and to know what they need to know about themselves. How they think, feel, and perceive this reality and recognize the actions they take and what those actions do. It's so important. And it's so important not to be led blindly down any path by anyone. Go deep inside and reflect to find the creator, I guess, is the best advice I can give. How to do that? That can only happen when the body and mind is cleaned out of the toxins. I've said that before, but it's only because I came to know that, because I could not slow down. I could not slow down and gain and maintain control of my own thoughts of emotions until I changed what I was intaking, until I cut off from the programming of the screen and I stopped. I stopped taking the poison of the injections, the pills, the consumption of the chemical-laden processed food and drink, the unnaturalness that I was taught to consume my whole life. When I was able to stop all that, I was able to sort through all of this and sort through and find this. That organ, that instrument, so to speak, that organ of the heart, with those pipes leading from that organ that can resonate and hear the music in harmony and balance and equilibrium and live there on that plane of equilibrium in nature, in morality, knowing there is a most high creator and that all I can do is observe. Try to pass messages as I can because I'm not that. Though I know we're all being directly observed by that. So I know as best I can and I feel it. Go past those pillars. Go past those pillars into your own mind. Find that third pillar of wisdom within. Find that center point, that balance. Use that instrument, that special spiritual instrument of the heart for what it was meant to be used for. And realize this maybe that the reconciliation of duality of those pillars of consciousness into equilibrium breaks the left-right paradigm, the black-white paradigm. When you realize that this race that we're all running, what race are we? What color am I? I don't consider myself a color. I consider myself a man in a body covered in flesh, yet another organ, but I'm flesh-colored like everyone else is flesh-colored, man and womankind. So the different shades in degrees of color. Something so simple is not something that should separate folks from each other and make them look at each other in certain kinds of ways and feel certain kinds of dark, nasty ways about others. Nor should any of these other ridiculous labels that have been attached to folk ego that they identify with, that they think they are, that they run around fighting for. They're simply fighting not to really realize and recognize what they truly are inside, what they've been all along, because they've been tricked into thinking that they're all these other things. You have to see that this, what I see is what's been built here has been built to be brought down, and it's all being shown right now if one were to look out and to see how everything is being portrayed. All the corruption being shown. in the different religions, in the different governments, in the different agencies, and the this and that. You think that's an accident when all this information and its flow is controlled. When it comes to the media and print and this and that, it's on purpose. It's on purpose to let everyone know that, hey, we're showing you how messed up all these systems were all along, that you played along with, and they figure within each out there in those systems, because I felt this deep and profound myself after working in that system, thinking I was doing something to protect for 21 years, realizing I wasn't. That's a crushing realization to come to when you realize what you're really a part of, what this was all designed for, what it's all doing, and what we've all done to each other because of it. Why? For a paycheck, for money, this or that, but it's deeper than that. It's because it was due to, for me anyway, a lack of spirituality and a devoid of morality and an absence of conscience. It's as simple as that. Though it's very, very deep. And I spent a lot of hours contemplating and just going to the crushing depths within myself. And really the despair and the depression and the sobbing that comes along with the reconciliation of one's own actions. But in that, I found the willingness and the willpower to want to change, and change as much as I could, as quickly as I could, and find the way. To do that, I had to explore all these inner paths, so to speak, that I could explore inside, build the foundational knowledge I needed that I was never taught. That took looking into the esoteric things, this and that, to get the language of symbolism, symbology, how it interrelated to me, my psychology, my physiology, how it does to all of us. Everyone can gain and find all of this knowledge for themselves and within themselves, and come to know these things. And in that, you can break out if you happen to be trapped into some reactionary, animalistic, so to speak, state of where you're in a constant fight or flight mode because of all the damage from all the toxins that were intaken, because the body cannot be relaxed at ease. It's in a state of dis-ease because of all the toxins and injections. You can get that stuff out, you can slow down, you can find balance, find equilibrium, and then you can start with the purging of beliefs, gain knowing, really understand what you come to know for yourself, in yourself, and get the wisdom from that. It's the tying together the physical and the metaphysical. So to get back to something else, time and space. It's reconcile just another duality in this finite material place, this creation. My heartbeat. Every moment my heart beats is my time here. The moment my heart stops beating, that's when my time ends. Has nothing to do with the watch, has nothing to do with the calendar, has nothing to do with any of man's so-called conception or fractionalization of time. Because I have one experience here. When it stops beating, I'm out of here. That's all the time I have. It's all the time all of us have. And for me to tie in the metaphysical part of that aspect is that infinity, or the creator, or God, or what's after this is infinite. That is the spiritual energy that is within me, that can be found within all of us that really seek to find it, I suppose. It makes gaining the wisdom from the past profoundly important too, not to repeat the mistakes into the future, because past, present, and future, don't get locked into that. Use the past for the wisdom you can get from it, and then use that wisdom to not have the terrible future that's trying to be constructed for us, by others of us that would mislead us. When I say us, I mean society at large. Anything else? Time and space. I had said that to merge that, but I stopped at time. So space, well, Here in the physical and the finite form, it's this. It's this space that I have to operate in, wherever that might be on my journeys as I travel around on this plane, in this world, in this experience. But I do it from my body, in this physical body that's wrapped in that other organ of the skin. It's absorbing all the poisons and all this and that from the air that folk keep putting in the air because they either know better or they don't. Either way, it's happening. And life itself in nature is suffering for it, to say nothing of the frequencies that go right along with it that are destroying life and health and cognitive function. Anyway, this is the space I have to operate with and from and out of this body. That's all any of us have, is the bodies we're in. That is our piece of property, each of us. See, the trick was with all these other laws, Lex Murgatoria, then later Admiralty Law, onto the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, and then after this, the incoming Noahide laws. It's all man saying, I own other man and woman because I'm going to put this label, this certificate, whatever, this number attached to them. They'll never know they were a spiritual being in a man or woman's body, because they'll start off thinking they were kids, because that's what they'll be called, because that's what folks are used to saying, where a kid is a baby goat. So again, those references, please consider these and consider them deeply, because the language, these words, are the trick that's been used to fool everyone and keep them locked in these hypnotized beliefs, destructive beliefs. That is not a state of knowing. I can tell you, though, truly, that this world to me is, and all these deceptions are so tiresome. It's like living in some disgusting, weird, sick, twisted version of Groundhog Day, except everything is continually getting worse based off only the beliefs that are being propagated out there because of the false worship that's happening out there. Yeah, there's just so much to say. Just don't know what else to say at this point, or how to say it. Maybe folks' hearts have been so devoid, maybe like mine was. That's a deep, dark battle that I hope others get to real quick, fast, and in a hurry, because it's crushing. It's crushing. I know you've been lied to, but it is deeply, deeply, deeply profound to find what you can find within yourself. And when you come to know yourself and know that you're a part of something much more here than that, there is a Most High. And then you'll see that the names and the different religions and the different reasons and justifications used, whether it's in the name of God or man or woman, or pick your reason on why you should go attack and enslave and harm and control others, you'll see the lie in all of it. You'll see it. You'll know it, because you can feel it. Then you can communicate it. And that's when all the systems lose their power. That's when all those in costumes lose their effect over you and their influence over you, when you can readily turn your back on any of them, because you'll hear the words coming from their mouth for the gibberish that they are, for the babble it is. That's the only reason I'm talking about this stuff, to try and help others not to get that far. To simply stop what they're doing now, to realize all the harm that's being done now is still being done. More wars are being created right now very purposely by folks that don't get themselves. They haven't grown up fully. They're still children in costumes. They're playing whatever role for whatever part of the system they think they're playing, for whatever valid reason they think they're playing it out. Some very well know they're doing wrong, and they're doing it on purpose. And those are the ones guiding the rest to do these things. Unknowingly. Everyone, it's their responsibility, everyone, to know they're more, to realize they're more, to know that we've been tricked, and to stop it. To stop it now. Because it's our responsibility. It's as simple as stopping the production of all these toxic materials being put out as food and drink. Stop poisoning the water supply. Stop with the fluoride. Stop the immoral propaganda and programming being pumped out of all the networks. If you're watching any of the networks or any of that TV and movies, I would suggest, with a quickness, stop looking at the immoral programming. Stop with the entertainment designed to distract. Stop the worship of other man and woman. Get away from narcissistic behavior. Get away from the vampires that will leech and suck your energy from you, because they are also empty shells and holes
spiritual holes within them that they have yet to fill. They will try and use you to fill that in them. I used to do the same. So don't think I'm name calling. To know yourself, to know your own psychology, how it works, how your thoughts, emotions, and feelings all play out and where they come from, and how to stop intrusive ones. How to protect yourself and your energy and your mind with what you see every day in this dark world from all this dark programming that's being pumped out. You have to be aware that it's there first to be able to then protect yourself from its effects. And then when you can do that, you can point out its effects to others because you can watch it have its effect play out on them in real time. As you see their eyes glaze and gloss over and they start to stare and space out as they just receive this programming. And then later you hear them repeat these same words. And when they're repeating words, they're only repeating the words of others. And that's why so many folk can't have a calm, coherent, organic conversation of their own with their own thoughts. It's a constant smattering and collection of other pictures of others' ideas and others' thoughts constantly spewing out. That's why we live in this so-called land of confusion where everyone's speaking different languages, speaking in their own compartmentalized perception of reality, not being able to explain simply what anything is. If you can't put it in simple terminology for yourself to explain from a place of knowing and wisdom, well, then all you're doing is using a combination of beliefs of others in all these ridiculous word salads to just try and convey someone else's point to try and make yours. So it's not your point. It's someone else's point you're using to try and make your point. You get the point? The point is to find that center point of the core within oneself, to realize all that's going on and all that has been created to go on within the brain, and to stop that. And that can be stopped. And those intrusive thoughts can be stopped, and then intrusive thoughts don't become emotionally reacted to and felt a certain way about and then acted upon in a reactionary state. That way one can realize, oh, why did I have that thought? That doesn't even make sense. Let me get rid of that. Let me discard that. Let me dispel that spell before it becomes something harmful. I'm not trying to pretend it's easy in any way, shape, or form, but I am. I'm simply trying to convey that it could be very easy to fix this whole world if everyone could slow down and stop their actions and just reflect inside, because while they're reflecting and they're not actually acting, they're not doing those actions. Harm is not being done. These things aren't being continued like they're being continued right now in every single area. All these agendas are all intertwined into one big picture, one big grand tapestry that anyone could see, were they only to take the time and effort and have the willpower to do it. The trick has been to make folks think that someone else will always do that for them, that someone will be able to spoon feed them everything they might need to know and they can just glide through life. That's the slave master mentality. That's the separation of the physical and metaphysical. It's the separation of just the separation, the multiple layers of separation that's been created within each out there, according to their experience, however it's happened. Evolution didn't make us like this. Evolution did not give us the abilities that we can come to know and realize inside us. And when you do, you'll realize the lies. And when the lies start to become apparent, and the beliefs start to crumble, and the walls start to come down, and reality seems absolutely fake everywhere you look, just realize it's because it's all been set up to be a facade, a show, based on costumes, based on choices made. All choices that were set up by those that set up this whole physical system that's been running and running and running and changing names and changing forms throughout history. It's all the same thing. Just look and you'll see. Look within yourself and you'll see. So the only reason I started to make videos, because I never realized, for 39 years I didn't realize that life wasn't what it was supposed to be. That my perception was so absolutely narrowed and suppressed, and my cognitive function was so destroyed that I could not experience life as we were all meant to experience life in a full fashion, with all my sensory awareness being used by me instead of my addictions using it to drive me. No, it was supposed to be me having full control over my senses and my perception to open up, and for me to be able to put the right knowledge in, to gain wisdom from my experience and from what I was coming to know and see and realize. And I describe it before as if having a whole nother life within the life you're in currently, or rebirth, or there's so many ways to put it. It's in here as well. So to me, if folk could just get that message of morality, repentance, to just know rather than believe. I think that's what was trying to be conveyed by Jesus, or looking at the life of Jesus, of pointing out all these tricks. I think the simple message was to try and convey morality, that we all live here under the Creator as children of the Creator. And I think with that, maybe when that's fully understood fast in the heart, when that awareness spreads fast and everyone stops their harmful actions, then that message of morality, inshallah, could finally bring shalom. Thank you for listening.